Hey there, I'm King 5 meteorologist Ashley Ruiz with a look at your Sunday morning forecast. We've gone ahead and issued a first alert for overnight and into Monday here in western Washington because we're going to have strong winds moving in overnight and into much of our Monday, but we're also going to get our next round of heavy rain in the lowlands and in the mountains. Our snow level is going to come up to about 8,000 feet. So that means all rain in the mountains, but snow levels will drop by Monday night. But until then, more heavy rain there, especially the North Cascades. So we will have ongoing concerns of flooding, the landslide, debris flow risk, and once again, some stronger wind gusts. So let's break it down for you day by day. Sunday, we'll have receding rivers, a lot of our rivers coming at least down to minor flood stage, if not below that. We'll have some showers. It's also going to be breezy. Now that winds are going to pick up and we don't have much in the way of rain out there, that elevated landslide risk will continue. In fact, it will likely continue for the foreseeable future just because of how saturated we are and just how unstable all of our soils are, and then our trees and so on and so forth. Monday, we'll have strong wind gusts peaking in the morning into the afternoon. Heavy rain below 8,000 to 7,000 feet. River rises, but they will be more noticeable into Tuesday and Wednesday just because it takes time for all of that rain in the mountains to go downstream. And I'll show you in just a minute. But then Tuesday, we'll have a quick round of rain moving in Monday night and into Tuesday, lowering snow levels, and we'll have some river flooding once again and a rain and mountain snow mix. Wednesday for now looks to be maybe a little more on the dry side, not totally dry, but lower rain coverage, more so in the second half of the day. But let's break down the alerts we have in place. We have a wind advisory in place pretty much for all of western Washington, all the way up to the I-5 corridor, the islands as well. This kicks in 10 p.m. Sunday all the way through 10 o'clock Monday. We could have wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. And yes, we get windstorms this time of year. We well know that. But since everything is so saturated now and our trees are weaker, the limbs are weaker as well, may not take much to see some wind damage down trees, maybe down power lines, and maybe some spotty power outages as well. And once again, this is going to be more so tomorrow morning, so overnight, and then peaking later in the morning and the afternoon. So let's pick the Futurecast up. This is Monday overnight, so pre-dawn hours, and you see we could have some wind gusts, especially to the north, through the strait and down the coast, perhaps even the South Sound. Overnight Monday morning, 40, 50 mile per hour gust. But then we all have the potential to get those wind gusts over 40 miles per hour later Monday morning into the afternoon. Then winds should begin to taper on down. But we could have some gusty winds into Tuesday and Wednesday as well. But that wind advisory covers tonight and into tomorrow evening. We also have a flood watch that kicks in, kind of similar to last week, from Monday morning through Thursday afternoon or evening. And essentially it's because the rain that we get, it's going to be runoff, and then it's going to fill our rivers, creeks, streams, low-lying areas, as well as our typical flood-prone areas. We also have flood warnings in place for our rivers. That's that lighter shade of green. For the Cedar, Chehalis, Cowlitz, Green, Skagit, Snohomish, and White rivers, a lot of them will come below flood stage, maybe as early as tomorrow before we get more river rises. I want to stress this is not going to be nearly as severe as last week. In fact, the only ones that may come very close to major flood stage, if not exceed that, would be these rivers. So the Skagit, it was the hardest hit, one of the hardest hit. So Concrete and Mount Vernon, they will crest at different times, potentially a double crest, especially Mount Vernon Tuesday night and then again Thursday morning, potentially in major flood stage. The Snoqualmie at Snoqualmie Falls cresting Wednesday Wednesday morning, and then Carnation maybe Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday night. The Cowlitz Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday night, and then the Snohomish at Snohomish will be Wednesday afternoon or night, Monroe the morning, and the Snohomish at Snohomish for now is forecast to reach moderate flood stage. Monroe maybe in that minor flood stage. Gold Bar, Skykomish at Gold Bar, potentially moderate flood stage Wednesday morning. Don't forget, you can always find the latest on water.noaa.gov or the Northwest River Forecast Center. And of course, we'll keep you posted. Let's talk about that atmospheric river, because it's not going to be as impactful as last week's, though it's still going to be strong. It's just not going to sit over our area. This is into Monday, and the green, the brighter colors that you see, that's just saying how much moisture is in place. So we have some higher levels of moisture approaching the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast into Monday, and that's going to fuel this incoming system, and that system's going to tap into this moisture for us to get some heavy rain. Then you see how it quickly moves to the south by Tuesday. So we'll have some moisture still in place. It's just not going to be as heavy. Then we get into Thursday, potentially another one, but this one would take more aim to Portland, or to Oregon and Portland, all the way into California. And this is a look at the Futurecast. So we get a low spinning off or over the Gulf of Alaska. It will send one front into the area into Monday, bringing us widespread rain. Then we get into Tuesday morning, and then just off and on through Tuesday, we'll get more rounds of rain and lowering snow levels. Into Wednesday, Wednesday could end up being on the drier side, as I mentioned, but all in all, we'll still have moisture in place, but we'll also get mountain snow. Then we get even lower snow levels potentially on Thursday, more rain, we'll get more mountain snow. So all in all, it is going to be an active week, but once again, we're not expecting widespread impacts like what we did. Yes, we could have some flooding because of all that runoff. We could have some river flooding, could also have some damage because of downed trees and so on and so forth. But this is what we're thinking right now. For now, we have first alert kicking in overnight and into Monday. We may extend it into Tuesday, just depending on how heavy the rain may end up being and if the winds are still on the strong side, and because of that slide and the river flooding risk. But then later in the week, we'll have increasing rain once again. Temperatures will be closer to normal, and then by next weekend, we'll be cooler, and into next week it looks to be quite chilly as well. But all in all, the worst of the impacts will be the next couple of days until we get those river rises by Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe into Thursday. But all in all, again, we had, I believe, 26, 27 flood warnings for our rivers with last week's system. This time, for now, we only have about 6. But still, the hardest hit rivers will be the most vulnerable for those river rises. Here's a look at the big picture right now, that low spinning over the Gulf of Alaska. We have a very weak front moving in. That's why we have some showers, especially from about Seattle northward, or northwest of Seattle, I should say, so over Vancouver Island. But most of our day we will be on the dry side, maybe some drizzle, some sprinkles, and clouds will hold in place. And you see a little bit of fog at Paradise, and then Hurricane Ridge, no snow, but we have some raindrops on the lens. Another look at our Queen Anne camera, we can actually see the Space Needle in downtown. Overall, things are just going to be breezy. We'll have some of those spotty showers. Temperatures are going to be in the 50s. Overnight, we are windy. We are warm, only in the 40s and 50s, when our average low this time of year is 50, or not 50, we are going to be at 50. Average low is 37. Tomorrow we start off wet and gusty by the afternoon, still going to be a little wet at times, but not widespread rain. In fact, we may have sun breaks, but it's still going to be on the windy side, with highs well above normal, potentially 10 degrees above normal. So let's walk you through the Futurecast in terms of timing. Here is late tonight. Around 8 o'clock or so, you see mainly showers north of Seattle. Then we get this first round of rain some locally heavy rain, especially for your morning commute. So plan accordingly now before you go to bed tonight, because the bulk of the rain may impact you in the morning. Then we get into the late morning hours and into the afternoon. Sun breaks with maybe just some spotty showers, not widespread heavy rain. Then we get a break. Here's our next round, Monday night and into Tuesday morning. Monday night, our snow levels should come down to about 4,500 feet, and then you see all that purple up in the mountains. So the best chance for mountain pass level snow will be, at least to start, Monday night and into Tuesday morning. But snow levels may come back up into Tuesday as we get that next surge of some of that warm, moist air. Then we get into Tuesday mid-morning. You see a mountain mix. We have some spotty showers with increasing rain once again into the back half of our Tuesday. And you see all that purple. Look for that purple if you want mountain snow, because that's when we'll have that mountain snow falling and accumulating. That's Tuesday afternoon, but we'll still have some heavy rain into Tuesday night. The rain just continues, but that mountain snow also continues, and it could be heavy at times. Through about Monday night, our rain totals look to be about half of an inch, maybe up to an inch for Puget Sound, with the highest totals, as always, closer to the coast. And up in the mountains, especially the North Cascades, we could get maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain. But keep in mind, it's going to fall as rain and not snow. Through Wednesday around midday, looks like, so basically between now and then, Puget Sound maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain, except the rain shadow closer to the coast, 2 to 4. Up in the mountains in terms of rain that falls, maybe 2 to 4 as well. And then into by Thursday, again, we'll just keep adding to that rain gauge, but we're not talking extreme amounts of rain, but anything at this point will fill our rivers and could lead to some more issues, especially that landslide and debris flow risk. Here's a look at the snow levels. I mentioned they're going to come way up Monday. They're going to drop Monday night and into Tuesday, but they could climb above Stevens Pass level late or maybe Tuesday during the day as we all warm up, dropping down to potentially 2,000 feet on Wednesday, maybe a spike in the snow levels as we get more warm, moist air, but then we're back down to about 2,000 feet into next weekend. This is our snow totals. This is the high resolution model, and the same modeling that we use for our Futurecast. It's called the graph 4 kilometer, but this is through Monday night. You see not much snow because of the high snow levels, but they start to come down, as I mentioned, Tuesday, and that's when we could start to get some heavy mountain snow, even at Stevens Pass, especially if we get some convergence setting up. Now, don't take this as an exact forecast, but it's looking promising that we're going to get some pretty good mountain snow, not just mountain snow that falls and melts. We're talking accumulating to help build our snowpack. So something to look forward to, but once again, all the river flooding we've had, just how saturated we are, and the winds coming in, that could lead to some issues over the next couple of days. So late tonight, so overnight and into Monday, once again, we're under first alert weather mode. Our second half of our Monday still going to be windy, but we'll have sun breaks in the mix. We'll have just showers, increasing rain again Monday night, and then another round of rain late Tuesday. It's going to be breezy as well, and then into Wednesday, rain should start to taper off. More rounds of rain into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with mountain snow. Looking ahead beyond the 7-day forecast, it looks as though our high temperatures should be near normal, maybe on either side of normal, which once again is about 46, 47 degrees. Don't forget, you can always find the latest forecast, a written discussion on king5.com from the weather team, as well as King 5 Plus. Be sure to check in with meteorologist Leah Pizzetti late tonight as she gives you an updated look at the forecast.